Hi Buns, good morning. Sadly, this week's video is gonna be less fun and exciting and upbeat. This morning I woke up and Cinnabun was showing signs of stasis. Now I've shared pretty openly with you guys that Cinnabun is a very sensitive rabbit and GI Stasis is nothing new to us over here. Pretty much anytime she's going through a big molt, like shedding a lot, she just ingests a lot of fur and has a hard time digesting it. So pretty much every molting season we go through this. Sometimes I go through it multiple times, but I've been really focusing on her diet recently and not giving her too many treats and staying really natural, and that's really helped lower the amount of times we've had a GI bout. The last time we had one was in October, but I mean, it's April, it is shedding season. She's been shedding like crazy, so it's only been a matter of time, and this morning I woke up and what do you know, it was happening. Here, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what's been going on. So my first sign this morning that something was wrong was, hey baby, you can tell that she still has a little bit of energy. She just wasn't being her fun, active self. She is hopping around, so I think we're in the early stages, but the number one thing was I came in this morning and she was asleep in her litter box. Now Cinnabun never ever sleeps in there. The only time I've ever seen her sleeping in there is when she does not feel well because it's dark and hidden. So I came in and she wasn't eating, she was just asleep in there. So that was sign number one. And then number two, I'll try to get it on video later if she does it, but she was doing this thing that she always does when her tummy hurts, and it's her stretching her tummy. I don't know the best way to describe it, but she stretches her tummy and like presses her paws up. Luckily right now she's kind of hopping around, so I think that she's not feeling horrible, but the signs were there. But of course I pull the camera out and she's like, look guys, I can move, it's okay. But my experience with her is usually it gets worse before it gets better, so I'll just keep an eye on her today. But the biggest sign of all of this, so even though she's hopping around and like maybe seems normal to somebody who doesn't like know her as well, the number one sign was I put her breakfast out and look at this. It is just sitting there. She has not touched it. That is the number one sign. So this is a great signal that even if your rabbit seems to be okay and is hopping around, if you put their food out and they have no interest in it, that's like it. You know, that's the sign that the tummy is not good. Another thing Cinnabun typically does if she's not feeling well or is in the early signs of stasis is she just like wants to be by herself during those times. So you can see she hopped in here and she's just sitting under the chair. Isn't like acting like she's in that much pain, but once you get to know your rabbit more, you'll just start to notice their signs. Like they're very subtle, they're very little in the early stages, but typically if I can catch them early, we don't have to go to the vet. Let's hope that we can clear this up and we don't have to go in for more emergency protocols. But right now, I'm happy to see, oh yeah, that's the tummy thing right there. That was it. Did you see that little stretch? It's subtle, but whenever she does that little like tummy stretch, that's like her, I don't feel good, there's something going on in my tummy, what's going on? Sign. My vet has actually prescribed me some medication to keep on hand just because putting your rabbit in the car and taking to the vet is stressful. And of course, if this is something new and you've never gone through this before, you absolutely need to go to your rabbit savvy vet right away. But because this is something we deal with a lot, they've given me some stuff to kind of treat her at home first to like hopefully avoid it getting more stressful. But of course, if things don't get better, I'll take her in. I actually have already syringe fed her some stuff this morning. Sorry I didn't film it. I just like wanted to get her treated right away. So whatever I do, as soon as I notice that she's not feeling well, the first thing I do is I give her infant gas drops. I give her a milliliter syringe of these, and I'm gonna give this to her every hour for the next like 2 or 3 hours. Pretty much what this does is just, it helps alleviate the gas bubbles in her stomach. GI stasis, if you are new to our channel or new to rabbit care, GI stasis just means that there's a slowdown or stopping of movement in their GI tract. And a lot of times that movement is stopped by gas bubbles that form, and so these gas drops can help alleviate those gas bubbles. The second thing I do, and this is something you have to be prescribed by your vet, so your vet will probably give it to you. This isn't something you can just buy online, but again, I've gone through this a lot, so they've prescribed it to me, is I give her 𝒣𝒆𝒏𝒂𝒂𝒃, which is a pain reliever. I only feed this to her once every 24 hours, but it's a good way to give your rabbit pain reliever, kind of like an Advil or Tylenol, just since she's having tummy problems, she doesn't want to eat. But the problem is she doesn't eat, then the problem just gets worse. So if you can relieve the pain, then you can kind of trick your rabbit into being like, oh, your stomach doesn't hurt as much, maybe you can try some more food. And then the last thing I feed her, and this is another thing you have to be given by your vet, it's an appetite stimulant. It's called I don't know how to pronounce it, 𝒏𝒄𝒏𝒄𝒏𝒏𝒄𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏 pretty much just like helps move things along, aid that appetite and all of that. And this is something that you don't want to feed if there's like a big blockage. So I felt her stomach to make sure that I didn't feel anything hard hard in there, but if there's a blockage, this can actually make it worse. But I've gone through this with Cinnabun so many times that I know her signs right away. So this is kind of my trifecta. Oh, and the last thing I give her is I give her a serving of Critical Care. I put a scoop of this into water and I feed it to her right away, just because, especially since she didn't eat her breakfast this morning. I don't know the last time she ate because it's morning, so I don't know what she was up to last night. So it's just a way for me to know automatically, no matter what, she has some nutrients in her body this morning and we're not running on empty. So that's what I did this morning. That's where we're at now. And really now all I can do is wait, this is the worst part. There's no medication I can give her. It's going to take a little while for any of this medicine to settle. So nothing I can really do right now. This is not the way I wanted to start this week's video. This is not what I wanted to do, but this is real life. And I thought I would just be really open with y'all and share, because it sucks and it's something I have to deal with multiple times a year. So here we are. Hello Buns, I'm back. It's a few hours later and I figured I would give you guys an update on where we are. As far as Cinnabun, no like real updates to her health. She's just kind of lethargic. What's tough is it's about 2 p.m. and like this is what time every day Cinnabun sleeps. Like it's her natural body clock for her to just be completely conked right now. So it's just tough to judge how she's doing when she's just really lethargic anyway. Anytime I've gone through this, the afternoons are always the hardest for me, because I'm like, I can't tell if you're getting better or if you're getting worse or if you're the same, just because like you're sleeping. It wouldn't be normal for you to be awake right now. So that's kind of where I'm at. She's like stretching her tummy a lot. She would loaf a little bit, but for the most part, when their stomach doesn't feel well, you'll see your rabbit in kind of a hunched position, and she was doing that where she's almost in a loaf, she's like hunched down, but her paws are pushing up into her stomach, like she has her front feet down, and you can see them trying to like alleviate pressure from her stomach, because when their stomach doesn't feel good, they don't want to like completely sploot or like be out on their tummy. I gave her a little bit more Critical Care just because the Critical Care that I made was like really watered down, so I gave her one more dose of that, and I gave her another dose of infant gas drops, and then right after that I tried offering her some banana, which is her favorite treat, and she denied it. So no eating. She spent some time in her litter box, not going to the bathroom or anything, just napping in there, which is so sad. I think she just really wants to be somewhere really private right now, away from me, away from anybody, just kind of to herself. She's actually just napping in her litter box right now, so it makes me really sad. Days like this are just so hard for me because I've gone through this multiple times with her to a point where I kind of have a system down and I kind of know how it goes. But with GI Stasis is like the #1 killer in rabbits. So every single time this happens, I'm like, what if this is the time? Let's just hope I caught it early enough. It was really early when I caught it. Like y'all saw this morning, she wasn't acting super sick yet. She still had some energy. Her little ears were perked. Her eyes were still wide open. So typically if I can catch it early, at least in the past, I've been able to kind of stop it early as well. But just, you never know. You never know how serious it's gonna be. So that's where I'm at right now. That's where she's at. I'm just gonna let her sleep for the next couple of hours, and right now all she needs is a really good nap. I know when I'm sick all I want is a nap, so I'm gonna let her do that, but I'll check in later. Okay, hi, I'm currently in the parking lot of the vet and we actually just finished our checkup. I decided to end up taking Cinnabun to the vet because my personal exotic vet, like the one that we always go to, closes at 6 p.m. She just like still wasn't showing any signs of improvement. So I really wanted to make sure that I was doing everything right and there wasn't something worse going on, or she needed like an x-ray or something. So I just wanted to get in here before they closed. I'm feeling good after the meeting. I mean, she still hasn't eaten anything, but I will say, like, bringing her in the car, you can even see in the footage, her eyes, like she's more alert and she moves around a little bit. So that's good. She wasn't like as hunched. And they said in her checkup, they didn't see anything like of concern that was out of the ordinary from our typical stasis bouts. They didn't feel any big obstructions in her stomach. They took her temperature was fine. So they pretty much told me to continue as I had, to continue the medication I was doing, not change anything, give her some more Critical Care when I get home. The biggest thing is that they gave her an injection of fluids just because these little guys can get really dehydrated very quickly, and she hasn't had any water all day because she hasn't been feeling well. And then she also gave her a shot with pain medication, and I know from experience that this particular shot makes her really, really drowsy. So I'm expecting Cinnabun to be conked for the next like 6 hours, which is unfortunate, but I went ahead and made a follow-up appointment for the morning. We don't need to do any emergency care tonight. They said they didn't feel like she needed to be like sent away from home. They did want to see her in the morning if things weren't improving. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and get this poor little baby doll home, give her some critical care, and then I'll check in when there's updates to give. I got home from the vet and gave her another round of critical care, and right away I started seeing improvement. I think the pain shot and just like spending the whole day napping, she was kind of starting to feel a little more alert. She took a nibble of banana right away. That was her first bite of food all day, so I was really excited. She didn't eat a lot, but she did at least take a nibble. And then she hopped into her litter box. She didn't poop at all, but I did notice she was eating a few pieces of hay, which was also really exciting. She even then had the energy to like hop up on the sofa, so I was like, okay, this is improvement. Things are happening. This is good. She's hopping around more and more. We even got a sploot, and that made me really excited because when rabbits are in pain, they don't want to lay on their stomach, so this was great. After a few hours, I looked and Cinnabun had eaten all of her lettuce and was munching on her pellets, so I was feeling great. The next morning, I woke up, gave her another round of her meds, and she gobbled up her breakfast, was acting fully like herself again. We had a vet appointment for that day, but we ended up canceling it because I felt like there was no reason to bring in extra stress, and she was 100% acting like herself again, appetite fully back, everything. But now let's skip forward a few days to right now, today. It's Thursday. I've been feeling great. I've been giving her pain medicine every day. She has been acting 100% herself, lots of binkies, no weird things at all. But this morning I went in to give her food and it was like deja vu. She was hiding in the corner, hasn't taken any of her food, was like doing the tummy stretches. I didn't film that because I literally just woke up and was panicking, honestly. So I immediately picked her up, gave her another round of her pain meds, another round of gut stimulant, and some critical care, and I called my vet. So typically with Cinnabun and Stasis, if I catch it early, it's usually about a 24-hour stint and that's it. I've had times where when she's in a heavy shed, it's lasted 2 or 3 full days where she's like gaining her appetite back, but I've never had something like this where she's like full stasis, not feeling well, recovers fully, is acting great, and then suddenly backpedals again. So I'm trying not to panic right now. I'm hoping that it's just she's still healing. There's still fur in there that's got to come out. She still has a tummy ache and we can do another round of like the pain shot and get through it. But it's hard not to panic when I just went through this literally 3 days ago. I've never experienced this before, especially since this is new for me. I immediately called my vet this morning and we're going in at 2 p.m. today. I have given Cinnabun her medicine, but she's just acting reserved. She's sitting on the stairs, not wanting to see me or do anything. So I hate that this is my video for this week, but this is what I'm going through and this is real. And I just like don't know what else I can do differently. There's not really much else I can do. Just be aware, but it's so scary every time. And it's so frustrating because literally I just went through this on Monday. I like had to take some work off to go to the vet and now I'm gonna have to do it again. This is the stuff that you need to like be aware of if you have a pet. So after I updated y'all, I waited about 30 minutes and something very interesting happened. Cinnabun originally was just kind of sitting around, but then she hopped into the bunny room and she took her little morning biscuit and she ate the entire thing. Right after that, she hopped up to her food and started to munch. Now, she didn't eat everything right away, but automatically I was like, oh, this is a really good sign. So I waited a little bit longer. And sure enough, within the next 2 hours, she had finished her lettuce, eaten her pellets, and even hopped into the litter box and used the restroom. So I called my vet and I just wanted to see if it was necessary to bring her in, because at this point I was thinking it might be more stressful to put her in the carrier and bring her to the vet. And my vet agreed with me. She said, let's go ahead and just monitor her, see how she's doing, and if she like starts to get worse, bring her in. But honestly, she's been doing great and has been just showing signs of improvement, and as of today, which is Saturday, she is acting totally like herself. It was just another round of pain, and once she actually got the pain medicine in her and it was like settled in, she started feeling better. So I'm still giving her medicine. We have a few days left of giving her treatment, but I'm feeling good about the way she's been acting, about the way she's been eating and pooping and everything. So that pretty much rounds out our week of dealing with GI stasis. I hope that this was helpful for you. The biggest takeaway I want you to have from this is do not ignore any signs. As you guys saw from the beginning of this video, the only sign I really had was a slight shift in her energy and her not really already being interested in food right away. And then you saw things just got worse and worse. So take this as your sign to always pay so much attention to your rabbit, and it's always better to be safe than sorry. I hope this video was useful, and I promise I have some good content coming in the next couple weeks that'll be much happier and more upbeat than unfortunately this week has been. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all of your kind wishes. Cinnabun says thank you, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, Buns.